The Mud Peddlers, a podcast where two nerdy ceramic artists share the behind the scenes of their worlds of clay. We're your hosts, Lindsey M Dillon.
And I am Donte of Earth Nation.
Today we are going to be talking about what to do with our failures.
With your seconds, essentially.
Yeah. Like, what do you do when the kiln gods do not bless your firings and things are not quite up to your quality standards? But before we get into that conversation, we have a bit of an announcement. For our YouTube listeners or viewers, we're actually going to be discontinuing doing video recordings. It's going to be audio only. And I'm really sorry for the folks who enjoy the video, but
you don't need to see my ugly face.
I mean, okay, I disagree. Everyone needs to see your beautiful face.
I thought you were going to say everyone needs to see your ugly face.
I thought about it, but then I was like, no, that's too mean. No, but like legit, it honestly just comes down to time.
It's a lot of work on your part.
It is a lot of work. And it's like, even if I tried to like hire an editor, it's like, it's a whole other thing. And honestly, we get way more listens on our podcast than we do on YouTube. So after trying the YouTube video for about a year. And kind of seeing how it goes, it's a combination of there's not enough viewership to make it worth the amount of time that I spend editing the video. And I would rather spend that time doing other stuff like making Night Peddlers episodes or making like YouTube videos of other content. And so anyway, I'm really sorry for the folks who enjoyed that. Maybe at some point it's something we'll explore again, but at least for the foreseeable future, it's going to be audio only.
I mean, realistically, and this is what I think with when I play games, is they're always like, we're not going to do this item anymore. Instead of being like, oh no, I'm not getting the item. I think they could probably be working on some other stuff. And it's the same for you. Like, you could very easily be doing other things that would benefit the Mud Peddlers versus spending X amount of hours on making a video.
Yeah, that like, not that
the
many.
juice isn't worth the squeeze anyway. Yeah. Because nobody's watching it.
Yeah, and I'm squeezing real hard. Yeah.
Kegels.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, queen. Yeah, anyway, I do feel badly about it, but yeah, it's not worth a squeeze. And honestly, like, I'm not a huge fan of the video editing. It just takes too much time. And anyway.
The audio is easier, right?
Audio is like legit. So for the most recent episode of the Mud Peddlers, the one that we did on oxidation versus reduction, because of that glitch in your video, and I'm more explaining this for the listeners,
right.
But because of the glitch in your video, I originally was planning to have that be a video episode, but because of that glitch, it had to be an audio only episode.
Right.
And it had been a while, that and then with the Night Peddlers episode, those are the only two audio only episodes I'd done in a really long time, and I was like, holy crap.
That's so much easier.
So much easier, so much faster. Like, honestly, when I do video editing days, it takes almost a full day. And it's just like, or it takes, probably three hours or so. And it's like, that's a solid chunk out of the day. And it takes me like only a little over an hour.
If I have full concentration, it's like 4 hours.
Yeah.
For my video. So I can only imagine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, your videos are more complicated, but it's also like, I don't know. Like, again, not to beat a dead horse, but it's, like you're saying, juice isn't worth the squeeze. So
yeah, juice ain't worth the squeeze. So we apologize.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. We gave it a best effort. We gave it a shot.
Gave it a go.
And it's just, I just want to spend my time making other cool stuff for y'all to enjoy. Yep. So, and to reach more of you guys.
Yep.
So.
With that being said, today's episode is on what to do with your failures.
Yeah. So when we were prepping,
like your college degree.
Oh, hey, don't you hate on my college degree?
Oh, you got it in art. Oh,
I'm gonna fight you.
What are you gonna do with that? Oh, what are you? What are they called?
Starving artist.
What's the degree that all the other degrees make fun of? Oh, you're an anthropologist.
Dude, anthropology degrees get hired like crazy though.
Yeah, for bank jobs.
Oh
nerds.
my, that's not true. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Let's reel it in.
I don't even have a degree. I'm just making fun.
Yeah, I'm just like, what you talking about?
It's like the guy making fun of football players watching football. He's a huge fan. He don't play no football. That man never exercises. Look at him. Sorry.
No, you're good. So when we were prepping for this episode, you were kind of more thinking about it in terms of philosophical terms. So tell me about that.
Well, when I first started ceramic artwork, of course, it's even now, you have failures, right?
Right,
and the question if you're...
Well, okay, so, sorry, I'm like
good.
devil's advocate, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to be considered like a failure, because it's not necessarily like it's like, oh god, because in my mind when I think of failure, I think of something that has like seriously been screwed up.
Yes.
But it can just also be something that's like, oh, this isn't like quite the way that I want.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. But
well, yeah, in both cases, either something's non-functional, non-food safe, or it's just not pleasing to your standard of work or your eyes. You know, either way, you're always gonna have stuff out of the kiln. If you ever have a kiln that's 100% like that, you're probably a master productionist, or you got real lucky that day. You know, and you're real tight with your glaze combos and whatnot. But generally speaking, the question is, what do I do with those? Do I sell them at a seconds? Do I sell them at a cheaper price? Seconds, right? Do I throw them away? And for quite some time, and still even today a bit, I just chuck mine, man. I'm just like, these are gross.
Well, that's the source for Link Day, right?
That is the source for Link Day. We did a video, me and Lindsey, quite some time ago. We just destroyed all our pots.
Yeah, we've done a couple of those now.
They're good videos.
They're fun.
They're destroying pots.
Yeah, we basically get together and we call it Link Day for those who don't know, because of
Link is a pot destroyer
in Zelda in the game.
The
Legends of Zelda.
No, he just smokes so much dank that he destroys pots.
Oh my god!
Sorry.
I love it. So, for the most part, you just destroy yours. So
for the most, but they have to be like actual failures in your terms, where I'm like, I can't refire this. I've gotten better with refiring my stuff that I'm displeased with.
Okay.
And they come out a bit better, but I will often, if I don't one-shot something or two-shot something, after the second one, it's going away. It's like, oh, this pot, or even if it hasn't sold for a very long time, if I have something in my store and it hasn't sold for like 4 months, I'm like,
that's interesting.
Oh yeah, no.
So instead of like selling it at a discount, you tend to just be like, okay, I'm gonna pull this and just like chuck it, save it for Link Day.
Yeah, but it has to be something that clearly unwanted. You know what I mean? It has to be like, nobody wants this. You know, like I love the color pink. If I make a pink pot, no one's gonna buy the pink pot. You know, because pink isn't like a largely liked color. Well, I guess it is, but
yeah, it depends. It depends.
Yeah,
but...
for pottery, it's more blues, to be honest.
For everything, it's blue.
For everything, for everything, it's
like the trope.
Blue, red. If you like the color blue, red, purple, or I think it's like orange. Those are the most commonly liked colors.
Yeah, I think blue first, then purple,
then red,
yeah.
But
anyway.
it was black. Black is also another one.
Oh yeah.
If you like the color black, it's like okay.
Yeah. My first resort is to consider selling it as a second. I usually don't put things in the Link Day pile unless they're not food safe.
The complete failure.
Yeah, Like if there's a big ass S crack on the bottom and that crack like goes all the way through,
right.
Or something got screwed up with the glaze to make it not food safe. Things like that I will put in the Link Day pile, which will end up smashing at usually like I don't know, once every year, couple of years.
Right.
But most of the time now, I set things aside for a second sale. I used to not do that. And the main reason I didn't is, well, there were a couple different reasons. Like, and this goes into a little bit of part of the reason I didn't do this is what you were talking about earlier with like the philosophical reasons. But yeah. I'll go into the other reasons so that you can talk about that reason.
Go for it.
Okay. So one of the biggest reasons that I didn't sell my seconds for a really long time is because it just wasn't financially feasible for me to do so.
Yeah.
Basically, it's because at the time, most of the pieces that I was selling were like not above $35 online.
Right.
Or when I wanted to discount them, they would have been below 35. And at the time, I was doing like a free shipping thing on Etsy.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, people would literally be paying more for the shipping than they would for the piece itself.
Yes.
And I'm like, that doesn't really feel worth it. And then even if it balanced out, like let's say I was selling a second for, I don't know, $25 or let's say 35. Shipping would have made, like $15 shipping would have meant that piece, my take home for that would be like about $20. But the amount of time that it would take to ship that out, to set everything up for the second sale, it just would not have been worth my time.
Yeah.
It's only been now, since my work is selling at a higher price point, me discounting things by $5, $10, $15 still means that I get to take home enough to make it worth the time.
For me, it's gross.
Okay, tell me what you think.
Well, I mean, it's gross. And I don't like it.
What's gross?
The pot.
Oh.
So I'm gonna chuck it. Like in my mind, it's very simple. And also, and I feel like I cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
Also, side point, like I don't I don't want my work to be represented in such a way that I'm unhappy with out in the world. You know, so I will often rather just remake it. And I feel like it's a pottery culture thing, especially with the old heads. Like Yoshi would always be like, remake it. It's not good. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you're right, I could do better. And the fact that I can do better and I want to represent myself by that betterness, for lack of a better term, is why I will often just not let, I guess, lesser work out in the world. Granted, there is the philosophical question of what is lesser work to you versus the person who might enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I would argue that it's really not up to that person. It's up to the creator of the work.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there in terms of not really worrying about... I guess what I'm saying is I understand your perspective with like not wanting a lot of your like quote unquote less valued, lesser work out there.
Yes.
And what is considered less is up to the artist.
Yes.
Compared to the broader public or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think for me, part of it was the financial thing, right?
Okay.
But also part of it was a few years ago, I feel like I was less established in my brand. So as people were getting to know my work and getting to know me and my work online, it was more important for me to represent myself at the like top quality.
Yes.
Because I wasn't established. Like there wasn't as much of my work out there in the public to be viewed. So if I had always been selling my seconds, it could have been like a 50-50 proportion.
Right.
Whereas now, I don't know, 70-80% of my work that's out there is my like top quality work. My brand is more established. People can, you know, when they go on my website, they can see the reviews that are like, oh yeah, this is really well made. This is which, by the way, thank you so much for everyone who writes reviews like when you purchase my work. That makes me so freaking happy.
It makes
like,
us hard when you're like, this was a nice pot. It was really well crafted.
Well, I don't know if hard is the appropriate way to...
Oh, you don't have one?
I mean, I have a tiny one.
Oh.
But I just don't know if that's the most...
Hey man, all sizes matter.
All sizes matter, yeah.
Hey man. we don't body shame here.
We do not body shame. Oh my god, I'm having such a hard time keeping my train of thought.
No, it's fine.
Anyway, so thank you for those who write reviews, because it really does help. Like word of mouth and things like that help a lot for independent artists. But now part of it is that I would say maybe like 10% of my work I end up needing to sell it as a second.
Yeah, it's a good number.
Yeah, something like that.
Because
it's kind of like I feel better about doing it now and about having that question of like, oh, I don't want my bad work out there being represented. I feel not as bad about that now because again, my brand is more established. People expect high quality work and it's worth it financially. And also I would be losing a decent amount of money if I didn't sell those seconds.
It's labor that's unaccounted for. Well,
right.
Not unaccounted for. It's actually in the negatives.
Yeah,
so, you worked on something that is not going to produce financial stability for yourself. So you just did free labor for yourself, essentially. And it wasn't enjoyable. It might be enjoyable.
It wouldn't be enjoyable, but it didn't turn out the way that it should have.
Right.
But also, it could be a way, this is one of the other reasons where it's like, I feel like if you check off those other boxes of it's financially worth it and your brand is well established, the nice thing about selling seconds is that it gives folks who maybe wouldn't have the means to buy your work normally, it's at a slightly lower price point that maybe they can afford. And I kind of like that.
That's the major point for me. Is like, I'm only doing this so that people who want my work, who don't have the financial availability to buy my work at this level, can buy at this level. And I will often undersell myself. I'll put a cup up there for like $35, $40.
I know, it drives me crazy when you do that. So you do sometimes sell seconds then?
Yeah, but right now in my shop, earthnationceramics.com, there's like one or two up there.
Yeah.
And they're clearly not as good as the ones on the front page. They're on a separate tab that you have to click just in case. You know what I mean? Like they're clearly there for a reason. And I know that most of my work, or at least I guess what you would call my catalog, is on like Instagram and Twitter and whatnot.
Right.
But like, I don't know. Most of my work is a lot better. I've gotten good enough to the point where I don't even put filters or edit my photos anymore. Yeah. I take a picture, I put it up there, it's done. That's how my pot really looks now.
Yeah.
Versus when I was like 7 years ago, I'd have to like enhance the contrast to make it look brighter because I wasn't used to taking pictures in sunlight.
Oh, your photography skills have gotten better.
Yeah, I didn't know my stuff. But now it's like, no, that's the quality of my work. That's how it looks normally on camera. But the seconds are like, that there was a better version of this pot somewhere inside me. And I didn't bring it out. And if you're familiar with my work, you're aware of that. The only reason I'm putting it up there is that you can have a chance, because you might really want some of my work, But,
Yeah.
you know, you might not be willing to put, like, not everybody's financial situation is the same. We know that.
Yeah.
You know, but philosophically, I'm always like, nah, what if, like, 100 years later they valued my work and they were like, you release a lot of cheap pots.
Yeah.
And there's always that one I'm gonna mock the shit out of you now.
Oh my God.
There's always that one person who's like, every piece that you make is valuable. It's the Little Mermaid. Everything is valuable. Even this fork I comb my hair with, everything you make is precious.
I mean,
you could donate it or make a collage out of it. You don't have to go to what. I don't.
Okay.
I made it. I decided to go with it. Shut up, Agnes.
Okay, I gotta push back on that because I think it's really important to have.
Because I named her Agnes?
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna push back on, I think it is important to have that perspective of, could this thing that would normally be trashed go towards something? Because we live in an environment where recycling and upcycling is important. Like, there's space for that. So, like, I get the making fun of, but I'm also like, don't make fun of those people. Because, like, there is something to be said for that. Because one of the things I've really enjoyed that I actually want to do more of is, so Jen of Genuine Art, I will list her Instagram. I know, right?
It's a great name.
I'll list her social media stuff in the show notes. But so she makes really, really beautiful resin koi pond art and like nautical art. So she paints layers of like little ponds. And a few years ago, I gave her a bunch of my seconds and she made them into her own pieces. Like, I didn't charge her for them. I was just like, these are going to get broken. Yeah. You know, why don't you take these? And that was a really cool way to give those pieces another life. Like, not that I would necessarily always do that. And admittedly, that was a very convenient way for me to offload some of those pieces. But I think the whole point of what can be difficult of what you're saying is like, oh, like every piece is precious, every piece is all this. It's like, okay, but like, yeah, I could do a mosaic with the shards, but I don't want to do a mosaic.
It's extra labor.
Yeah. Or it's like
you'll do it.
Trying to find an art organization that will take those shards, take those.
There's also the feeling of offloading your I feel like I'm offloading my trash, my unwanted stuff, you know?
Well, if someone's specifically asking for it, then it is wanted.
I mean, if someone's specifically asking for it, yes. But for me to go out and find a corporation that will take my seconds in order to get donations or make a mosaic, feels like I'm just giving them my shit work. You know, my brain's like, here's my shit for the month. On top of that, like, I don't know. I just, most of me feels like it's not up to social representation. It's not up to the social mindset to do what the artist wants to do with their work. So saying like everything's precious is like to you, but not to the person who made it.
Yes.
And that's like to mix up a phrase real hard. It's like their art, their choice, I suppose.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like that's not a good, because you know, but
yeah.
But like also, I made it. I do what I want with it, and some people get real mad over like I would have had it. Like the person who always comments, right?
Oh,
I'll take it for free if you're gonna get rid of it. You know? I don't know why they always have a Mickey Mouse voice, but it's just it's. You know, the options are either I'm unhappy with it, so I'm going to get rid of it, or I'm unhappy with it, so I'm going to take it to a seconds, or I'm unhappy with it, or so it's going to go to collage. The bar is that you're unhappy with it. So you either need to fix that facet or do with it what you will as the artist.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I believe in upcycling, and I believe in recycling. Like, I have my own compost bin and all that junk in my kitchen. But, like, you know, if you're about that life, then be about that life. If you want me to send you my crap pieces for a collage, I'll break them and give them to you and tumble them around even maybe for you, but it's just a lot of extra labor.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to like make a collage out of my failures. I'm not willing to. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not even a collage artist. I'm not doing it. You know. You could do it if you want. Anyone who's like, you could do this with it. My response is always like, okay, come to my house and do it.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Like
do it.
Come take the things and just take it off my hands.
I'll mail it to you, and you pay me for the mail. And you do it.
Yeah.
And when they
pay you for the mail, the cost of packaging, and the time that it took to package all of that.
And then do with it what you want. Yeah. Which is essentially a seconds. You're paying for it.
Yeah, at that point.
But like at the point, like, no, I don't want to do it. I want you to do it. I'm like, okay, well, shut up or put up. Like, pick a lane. You know?
Yeah.
If you're gonna complain about the problem and not do nothing about the problem, then you're not doing nothing anyway.
Well,
your 2 cents doesn't pay my rent, ma'am. Good day.
I mean, you're not wrong about that. I think it's
That was aggressive. I apologize.
No, you're good. Like, to me, what that reminds me of is like the frustration of people always, like, again, and most of the time, I'd say 99.9% of the time it's coming from a good place of like, oh, well, like, you have this problem, why don't you do this? Like, people wanting to suggest stuff, which comes from a good place. But sometimes as an artist, it does get frustrating to hear like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. It's like, well, okay, well, I actually have considered doing those things, but, you know, I appreciate where those people are coming from. And I think for me, that's always the baseline of like, I get that people don't want to see these things that, again, are less precious to us than they are for them.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, so what do you do with that? So let's say you do decide to sell your seconds, you know, like both of us have. I think we both have different approaches with how we go about selling those seconds. So to me, it sounds like you integrate your seconds into your monthly or so updates, right? You'll just kind of periodically post them throughout the year?
I have rules to mine.
Okay.
So, like, it has to be food safe first.
Oh, yeah.
And then it has to be representative of my work that I would post on a better level. So if I have a cup that came out like twice as good as this other cup, the glaze combo just didn't work out, but it is the same glaze.
Yeah.
That's just a seconds. That's just like, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but it's usable, I guess. And that's a seconds to me.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, my seconds usually end up being warping issues because I will sometimes get real ambitious and try and throw pieces thinner. And it always freaking gets me. And oh my God, it makes me respect people who, like, again, work with more sensitive clays because I use bean mixed with grog, which can put up with a lot of bull.
A lot of torture.
Yeah. But I do notice that because I tend to be kind of, you know, rough with the clay as I'm like transporting it, like pulling it off the wheel and things like that. If I have a piece that's thin, there just tends to be more warping issues. So warping is probably the main issue. And then after that is cracking. So since I work with stamps and it's essentially like a sprig mold, so, you know, attaching one piece of clay onto another. Yeah. If the drying temperatures are not, or if the drying rate, if the moisture rates are not like regulated, there's cracking. And sometimes it only happens during the bisque or during the glaze firing. Right. And if that happens, like, that's a second. So that's usually what ends up being seconds for me. Beyond that, every now and then I'll have a piece where it's like, I know I trimmed the bottom a little too thin. Yeah. Or like my Anne's bronze. I love that glaze, but it is so hard to keep it from...
Finicky.
Super finicky. Yeah, like even if I completely wipe off the bottom and it doesn't look like it ran, it's like certain parts will still get stuck to the kiln shelf and I'll have like little chips that come out and I'm like, God. So
then you got to work around the chips. Yeah. You ever put your piece in the kiln? Like, let's say you have a cup, you have a piece in the kiln, you trim the foot. You'll put that little piece of glaze that got stuck to the kiln shelf in the middle of the foot. So that it's not touching the foot.
So that it doesn't. I try and like, you know, chip those pieces off of my kiln shelves when that happens.
Some don't come off though.
But yeah, some don't come off. And then honestly, that's part of the reason why I started using kiln wash. Is because I had enough of my shelves had those little remains of glaze that were starting to affect other pieces that I'm like, all right, I just gotta put a kiln wash on this. Okay, so that tends to be your seconds. When you post your seconds, so like
I don't post my seconds.
Yeah, you do. No, not to social media.
Oh,
I meant
to
like when you put them up on your website.
Not showing this on purpose.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't either. Okay, so I'll say by comparison, when I sell my seconds, I tend to do a yearly kind of update, right?
Well, you tell them.
I do.
You tell them about your seconds.
Yes. Oh. So what I've started doing, honestly, I think I've done this for maybe 2 years now, maybe just a year. Time is weird. But what I've started doing is, because the holidays are often so busy and I don't have the amount of pieces that I'd like to sell during the holidays, I started integrating like a yearly second sale alongside my holiday sale to have more pieces available for people to buy.
I see.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the main reason I started doing that, is just because I have trouble producing enough stuff. So if I save up all my seconds throughout the year, like right now, I have probably as many seconds as half of what I brought to SAC Anime. I probably have like 100 or so seconds.
That's fair.
So I tend to do a yearly update, but I know that some folks argue against doing that because they're like, oh, if you train, quote unquote, train your followers to expect, you know, selling discounts, like, why would they buy your new work? And I kind of get that.
I get it. But
yeah. So how do you? So
it's better work. Like, I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, I'm only selling seconds if it's lower quality than the better stuff. Yeah. So if you want the better stuff, you pay for the better stuff. If you want the lower quality stuff, you pay for the lower quality. You know. Yeah. You want Chevron gas? You want AM PM? All right, you're paying for AM PM. You're getting AM PM.
Yeah. You do your updates. Integrate your seconds into your regular updates throughout the year, though, right? Like, I only do it once a year, and you do it like every month or so.
I just post them. I don't even tell people. I just post them up there. If you find them, you find them.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's a tab on my store that says seconds sale or seconds page.
Yeah.
And then I have a little description like, these are the pots that not like they're less desirable, but they're usually lower cost and didn't come out as I wanted them to. Mm-hmm. And that's that's a description. I put them up there, and that's it. If you buy them, you buy them. If you don't, you don't.
Why don't you advertise them? Or why don't you like say that you have them on your Instagram?
Why don't I advertise the shit I don't like?
Yeah.
No.
So the argument I'll make for that.
I say.
Well, I mean, I do that honestly. I mean,
I'm a horsey boy. Nay.
Horsey boy. Oh my gosh. I don't know. To me, I don't see anything wrong with advertising second sales.
I just don't want. I don't know. Like if I was a bodybuilder, I wouldn't post when I'm bloated unless I'm trying to make a point about being bloated. You know what I mean? If I was a supermodel, I wouldn't be like, I just ate like 3 pounds of food. Let me post my ass for the gram. I would look extra not good right there. Like most of them are in their tip-top, dehydrated, muscle-bound, oiled up. Like I just want to post the best version of my work that I can. And it's not as though I don't want to show my failures as if I don't ever have any failures. Mm-hmm. It's just that I just don't see a reason, unless it's a teachable moment, to post about my failures.
I could see, like, I hear where you're coming from. The only thing that I could see where that being an issue is that, like, again, if those pieces don't get advertised, they're less likely to sell, And it's like, when I advertise my second sales, I maybe don't, like, it's not like I go through and show on, like, Instagram, oh yeah, these are all my messed up pieces. I'll show, like, let's say, for instance, I have a second that has, like, a messed up foot.
Okay.
Right? Maybe I'll post the photo of that just with the front facing, so maybe you can't see it. And that's for Instagram, but when it's on my website for selling, then of course I'll show all the pictures of, like, this is exactly why it's selling as a second.
Oh, I see.
But I think still advertising that you have a second sale on Instagram is a good way to get more eyes on that content, because otherwise it's like people are never going to see it and you're not going to sell your work.
I'm going to start an Instagram page of just seconds and call it Shitty Pot Posts.
Ah!
No, people will get mad at me because people who like that arc would be like, it's not shitty.
Oh.
Beginners would be like, I can't make, are you saying I'm bigger than this?
Oh.
People get defensive real quick. Real quick. Yeah, I can't do that.
So we've talked a bit about what makes a second for each of us.
Okay.
When we sell our seconds. So, like, I do a yearly update. You tend to put them up there kind of as they come up.
I just put them up there.
Different perspectives on advertising, whether we do seconds. So, like, let's say you do want to sell your seconds, but you maybe don't have an online store set up yet, or you don't want to sell them online. I think it's nice to know that there are some different ways to sell your seconds. Mm-hmm. You could do them as a collaboration. Like, let's say genuine art. Let's say she and I had made a deal where I would sell those pieces to her, like, at cost.
Okay.
And, so you can do something like that. There are often local organizations that will have, like, second sale events. Mm-hmm. And, like, I know here in Sacramento, I'm spacing out on the name of this organization, but they do a second sale. Mm-hmm. And I think they do it twice a year. And I think they do one after the holidays as a way to be like, okay, we're going to sell our main, like, nice things during the holidays. And then kind of after the main holiday rush, be like, okay, everyone who wanted a nice piece, like, as a gift, you got that. But then here's our seconds for, for other reasons. Mm-hmm. There's also, like, let's say you're selling at an event, you could have, like, almost like mystery bag type things. I've seen people do that at conventions.
Mystery bags!
Mystery bags! Those are kind of fun. So, like, that's
a good idea,
That's
actually.
an option, too.
Mystery bags for the pots I don't like.
Yeah, and make them, like, I don't know. I mean, you figure out how you'd want to price them.
Yeah, like $50, and there's 2 mugs in there that are, like, quality, but they're not my quality.
Yeah. And I have some pieces where it's, like, because a lot of my work is fandom specific. Like, you have a lot of work that's just that not just as in like in a bad way, but you have a lot of work that focuses on functionality and like and glaze combinations and things like that. So, like, I would feel bad doing a mystery bag thing because, like, if I have and the item in the mystery bag is like a Full Metal Alchemist mug, but that person doesn't watch anime, it's not really going to be like a fun experience for them.
That's always so weird to me.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to anime convention, someone's like, I'm gonna buy this mug, and I'm like, oh, you like Pokemon? And they're like, what? No.
Oh, yeah.
That
like, happens. That happens sometimes.
I'm not gonna stop you from buying it, but, like...
Yeah.
But you did pick up a Squirtle cup, so...
Yeah. I think you just like the design. I mean, I've totally done that before.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I'm just like...
It's surprising when it happens.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You bought a bastard sword from Final Fantasy VII. Oh, I just like big swords. You don't know what Final Fantasy is, do you? No? Well, I'm not gonna make you feel bad for it, but also that is weird. Yeah, I don't really feel bad about selling my seconds. I think I feel bad about the statement that, like, they are seconds to begin with, if that makes sense. Like, it is a known fact based on the definition of seconds that you are buying my lesser work.
Yeah.
Does that, that makes sense?
Yeah.
And like for someone to buy that, they would essentially have to acknowledge that statement. Mm-hmm. And I think I feel bad about that in particular, specifically.
What I would, I guess, say to that is that I don't necessarily know that they would have to agree that it's a lesser piece, because for some people, that second makes it higher value in their mind because it is different. And I think there's something to be said for that. I've bought seconds from other artists, and I'm like, oh, this is like yeah, I acknowledge that for this specific artist,
yes,
this specific piece does not meet their standards. That doesn't mean that it doesn't meet my standards.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're just likes and dislikes about the product you're buying is just different.
The piece itself. So it's not like So essentially I'm saying that people may not think, oh, this is a lesser piece. For them, they may think, oh, what a cool opportunity to like get this unique piece. Oh, and it's cheaper. It's something that I can afford.
I wanted that anyway versus the other thing.
Right.
Do you think that because we are the artists, our judgment about our own work, because of the path we've gotten to get to that standard of quality, is a bit more skewed in the eyes of the average person? Like, for example, I think certain colors are amazing because I'm like, this was hard to get, this melt, this color, versus someone else. And I know I use this stereotype a lot, and I'm sorry, but there's a lot of you. It's like, I just want it to be blue. I just want it to be blue. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. There's a black and white melt, and it transitions into a purple, and that purple transitions to this opalescent type of ivy white, and they're just like, no, I like the blue one. But in my mind, I made the blue one a seconds.
Yeah.
But because of the path I took in my art journey to get to develop a color that does those 4 things on one cup, on like low quality clay, my brain goes, this is like a $70 mug right here.
Yeah.
You know how hard this was to make? And they're like, yeah, I don't really like black and white.
Yeah, I do think it does get skewed.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't...
I could definitely concede to that point.
Like, I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I mean, like, I think in general it gets skewed because we work on our quality as we improve as artists. And we also, because we're the person who's behind the art, we will always know more about the process of that piece than the average person walking around. So I feel like part of our jobs, is not to convince people that they should buy a certain thing or not. For instance, when I sell my Dragon Egg mugs, not everyone knows, honestly, I feel like most people wouldn't know that those pieces take 6 hours to make because every single scale is added individually.
But me.
Right, but I know that. Yeah. So my perspective is skewed, but part of my job is when I'm talking to people about the Dragon Egg mugs is to say, yeah, every single scale was added one at a time.
Yep.
And so and for you, the equivalent would be like, oh yeah, this glaze, it took me however long to develop this glaze to get, and not as a way to be like, and this is why you should buy this piece compared to the blue piece.
Right.
But it's helping to educate the public, the people who are looking at your work. It's an opportunity to, not educate, that's the wrong word, but it's an opportunity to bring them in on the process so that they understand a bit more about the process. They can still buy the blue mug and cool, they like your work in the first place. That's awesome. And for other people, they're just going to be like, okay, yeah, I know that blue is nice, but wow, you're telling me about the process behind this piece makes me appreciate it more.
I think personally, just because we're in pottery culture, or at least I feel like we're standards in pottery culture.
I mean, I don't know, but I don't know if I'm a standard. I'm not that cool, man.
People like us.
I'm not that cool.
It's super weird because once a week I get tagged on TikTok or Twitter or on Instagram of oh yeah, I learned. You know how many people tag us for the plaster thing?
I feel so bad because that's literally Sue McLeod's tutorial.
We mentioned her in the video.
I know. I tried. I want to do it many. We do. But I just want to reiterate again. It
was a needed video.
We did the video, but that tutorial is from Sue McLeod.
Yeah.
So please
follow Sue McLeod.
Follow her. Sign up for her newsletter. Her newsletter always has really helpful tips like that plaster video.
Yeah.
So, but it's true because people love that video, and I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Also, it was Sue. Yeah. Anyway.
But that's what I mean, though. People will often be like, Donte and Lindsey made this video, and it helped. I made my own wedging table essentially.
Yeah.
I just put stilts on a plaster thing, and that was it. I just had to learn how to mix the stilts.
Yeah.
But people like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
It is weird though, because I feel like we're in our we're literally in a storage shed or a garage.
It's not a storage shed, it's a converted garage.
Okay, at a converted garage, and people are listening to us from this. It feels like we're in our own little You know what I mean?
This is getting real meta.
It's getting meta.
This is getting real meta.
Lindsey, there's at least 1,000 people every 2 weeks.
Stop it.
At least.
Stop it. I don't like it.
People are listening to our voices
scary.
right now.
Oh my God.
The world and the universe is a cold, indifferent place. And all we have is the indomitable spirit.
Oh my Lord. I mean, at least we're sending out that message. That's a good thing, but...
Yeah, you know,
right.
I feel like to a small degree we're helping people. And so, I mean, I'm a bit off track, but, you know, I think to end it off, I do think that because we've gone through the long road of developing something, the top tier of the development for where we are right now is to us seen as like, this is the apex of what I can offer you at the moment. Mm-hmm. Right? But to them, they're just like, look, man, I just need to be pretty. I just need it to be the thing that I need it to be purple. And I'm like, I don't really make purple. Because I don't really like the color purple, because it's like blue and red had a baby to me. Like,
I mean, it's literally blue and red.
And they're basically really... Blue and red are easy colors to make for me. I just combine them, and they're like, no, it's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
It's fine. I think it's fine for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine for them. But if they want... Like, if the end point is to make them like it, enjoy it, and to buy it from me, I suppose that's the end goal. But at least for me... the process of making something that's rare to me and difficult to make is more valuable than just selling you the work, which is why I'm so bad at advertising.
Yeah, well, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm in like problem solving, you know, like maybe part of what will make advertising more comfortable to you is, okay, now I'll rephrase this.
Yeah.
What has made advertising more comfortable for me is thinking about it in terms of, let me bring people in on the process. Because I'm excited as hell about this process. Let me tell you about this process because I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And then that makes me feel less weird about advertising.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to phrase it. Because otherwise it just sounds like I'm, and I hate using this term because it's so skewed, but it feels like I'm gatekeeping myself. It feels like, no, the work wasn't good enough to go out into the world. You could do better. Try harder. These aren't the standards we live by. Versus, like...
Well, I mean, it's good to have that. Like, I mean, when you're having seconds, like, it's good to be able to self-reflect on your own work, obviously. Like,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary, but as the old adage goes, we are our own critics. You know, like, own worst critics.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of some artists that will, as they're unloading the kiln, they'll have a hammer in one hand. So if they see a piece and they don't like it, they just smash it.
Yeah.
And I've thought about doing that.
I do that.
Really?
I have a garbage can and a hammer next to me.
Oh my God. I'm glad I don't because there's been a couple times where I've had pieces that have come out and I'm like, oh no. But then like a day later I look at it and I'm like, oh, actually no, this is fine.
I do that so that part of the process doesn't get to me.
Why?
Because I feel like it morphs my standards. So what happens is I see a piece I don't like, I immediately destroy it so that the thought form of why I don't like it immediately can't permeate my mind and go, it's not so bad. Because I feel like at a later time, my brain is just lowering the standards of quality so that I will be okay with the piece that was essentially a seconds. But if I do it immediately, my brain goes, we're staying at this standard.
See, okay, so I would say that, like, my perspective on that is different because, like, it's not like when I look at that piece later, it's that my standards have lowered.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just that a piece turns out differently, but not bad. Like, for instance, the saturation gold glaze.
Yeah.
When I just do one dip, it turns out a different color than like what's on the label. It takes 2 dips for me to get it that like that rich, nice like brass like gold kind of color.
Right.
And so there's been times where I dipped it just the once. It came out of the kiln. And I was like, oh, I don't really like this. Mm-hmm. In that moment, I could have smashed it, but I came back to it later and I was like, oh, you know, it's not the gold that I was looking for, but in the light this way, that's actually kind of neat. It's different. So it's not necessarily like I'm lowering my standards. There's a difference that's not necessarily a bad difference is what I'll say.
I feel it.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
So if you unload the kiln with a hammer in hand, but
it's
you still...
my axe?
Yes.
It's the axe,
totally.
yeah.
That's awesome. So it sounds... So you don't destroy all of your seconds, though.
No, I don't destroy all of my seconds because there is... My line for a seconds piece is essentially like, I made this piece and it came out fantastic. Mm-hmm. And the piece next to it, which is the same shape, the same glaze, was like, for some reason, didn't turn out as good. My brain goes, okay, this can still be sold. And then the piece next to that goes, all right, well...
We're just breaking this.
There's like a piece of crawling on the inside and on the outside. Do I want to incorporate this into the next one? And if I do a second firing with this... Do I want to then add more glaze to this spot? Will it run? Like, there's a bunch of different dimensions of things that could go wrong and have more trouble and labor for me in the future.
Yeah.
If I try to sell that. Because, like, at least in my brain, I go, this is not to my standard. I can refire it. That's more work. Mm-hmm. Or I can still post it along with the other pots I have to post, which, again, is more work. Like, do I want to put in the labor to make this something? And it's way more sad when I refire it and I agree to put in that amount of work, and it still turns out bad. And then I'm like, I'm destroying it now.
Yeah.
I'm destroying it now.
Okay, so generally speaking, though, like if we're going with a 3-pot analogy of like one pot turns out perfect, the other pot turns out like still good, but not as nice as the first
standard.
one. And then the third one, so that third one, if you decide not to refire, that's the one that you'll like
Third
hammer.
one's doo-doo butts.
Okay.
Third one's barely food safe.
So that's the one that you'll break immediately with the hammer.
Usually, yes.
Okay.
I have a garbage, like, you should see my garbage can. It's just full of, like...
I think I have seen that garbage can.
Just straight up, yeah. I love to do the football, you know, like...
Oh!
Yeah, just, like, touch down into my garbage can, it smashes.
Yeah.
And then I pretend I'm a sport man.
Sport man.
I made the field goal, and they clapped for the hole-in-one.
Yeah. That's... okay.
They kept score.
And
I put on tights, and I run into other men.
And that's it for today. Thank you for listening to The Mud Peddlers with Lindsey M Dillon.
And Donte of Earth Nation.
Want to say hi and see what Donte and I are working on in our studios? Check out the show notes for links to our websites and social media below. You can find me at lindseymdillon.com. That's LINDSEY, M as in monster, DILLON.com. And on Etsy, Instagram, and Facebook at Lindsey M Dillon.
And you can find me at Earth Nation Ceramics. It's spelled exactly how you think it's spelled, but you can also find me on my Facebook fan page and Instagram at the same name at Earth Nation Ceramics.
If you enjoyed hanging out with us today, or you have a question or topic you'd like us to discuss, take a second to rate and review the Mud Peddlers in Apple Podcasts. It helps our podcast reach new listeners, and we really appreciate the feedback. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time.